Welcome to the Recreation and Wellness Student Employment Information Session. This is just a way for Recreation and Wellness to get some more information out to you about our upcoming hiring and give you a chance to ask any questions that you might have about the position that you are planning on applying for. My name is Julia Thatcher. I am the current Graduate Assistant of Facilities at the Perry Fieldhouse. We also have a representative, Brody Hanna from the Rec Center, Chris Ballard from Aquatics, and Malik Osborne from Club Sports and Intramurals. So just a little bit about the Department of Recreation and Wellness. We do have many different facilities. So first and foremost, we have the Student Recreation Center, as you can see there at the top, and that includes the pools. We also have our wellness connection there. Our fitness is housed in the Student Recreation Center as well, as well as numerous other programs that we offer. We also have the Perry Fieldhouse, which is housing the clubs and intramural sports, as well as we have a facility staff there. Also in the Perry Fieldhouse, we have a marketing department, and we also have outdoor recreation areas. We do have some intramural fields, as well as the Kreischer and Harshman basketball courts. So as you can see, we do have many different areas within recreation and wellness. So there are numerous requirements for each position, and as you can see, two common requirements for all positions are that you must have a CPR, AED, and first aid certification, and you can get that in-house at the Student Recreation Center. You can also get that externally. We do have students get that through the American Red Cross or other organizations online. And then for every department within recreation and wellness, you have to be at least half-time enrolled. So for an undergraduate student, that would be 6 credit hours, and for a graduate student, that would be 4 credit hours. And then there are some additional requirements that change throughout departments within recreation and wellness. So as you can see, fitness specifically has additional certifications such as ACSM or ACE certification, and aquatics also has special certifications, which Chris can talk about a little bit later. At the rec center and the Perry Fieldhouse, you have to be able to at least lift 50 pounds because of the moving and re-racking of weights that we do. Also, numerous departments require that you have a lot of energy because we do have a lot of movement going around as far as re-racking weights and preparing the pool and things like that. So we'll go through, we'll start with the Perry Fieldhouse, and I can answer some of these frequently asked questions, and then we'll move on to different divisions within the department. So a typical day at the Perry Fieldhouse is, it changes day by day. So typically you'll either be working by yourself or you'll be working with one other person. If you work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's typically a shift by yourself, and then 6 p.m. until we close at midnight is usually with 2 people. So we do a lot of tending to external rentals at the Perry Fieldhouse, whether that be youth sports that come in. We also deal with intramurals and club sports in the evenings. My staff also just do day-to-day typical things such as organizing the facility, cleaning the facility, greeting patrons when they come in, and working our unique software called RecTrack to sell different day passes. My favorite part about the job is definitely the staff that I get to work with. We have a group of about 20 undergraduate students that work as PFH attendants, and they're all great people to work with, very welcoming, very including, and so that's definitely my favorite part about the job. I would say my least favorite part about the job is just always being on your toes in the event that there is an emergency, an accident, or an incident within the facility. Like I said earlier, everyone's expected to be trained for AED, first aid, and CPR certifications, and that's because accidents like that do happen in our facility because we are a sports facility with a lot of movement. So I think maybe that can be one of my least favorite parts about the job. And I would also say that's probably the biggest challenge, just being able to um, respond to those situations appropriately and make sure that everyone stays safe in the facility. So the dress code at the Perry Fieldhouse is khaki pants or shorts, closed-toed shoes, and a recreation and wellness polo shirt that we do provide to you. You're also not permitted to wear any sort of external clothing, such as hats or external jackets. Typically, at the field house, employees will work anywhere from 3 to 10 hours per week, and then they supplement those hours with additional hours on the weekend. So we have some employees that prefer to only work 3 hours a week if they're really busy, and we have some employees that work up to 20, 25 hours a week. And the max amount of hours that you're permitted to work a week per the university is 28 hours. There are opportunities for promotion at the field house, so you can be promoted to a student supervisor after you've worked at the field house for a little bit of time. That can be a position that you apply for, and that does come with additional responsibilities and a pay increase. This job comes with numerous transferable job skills, so you're gonna definitely get better at communicating with diverse populations. You'll get better at responding to emergencies and staying calm in emergencies, and conflict resolution will be a skill that you'll be able to sharpen at the Perry Fieldhouse. There are other opportunities that present itself when you work within the department, including conferences through NERSA or ORSA, which are organizations that work within Campus Rec, and you can go to conferences in Ohio. I've been to one in Toledo. There's also conferences at Ohio State, or you can go to the national conference, which is somewhere new every year. This year it's in Arizona. So this position does come with other opportunities to grow and network and meet people outside of BGSU. And then if you have any additional questions, you can drop them in the chat and we will answer those towards the end of the session. Brody?
All right. So I'll cover what the frequently asked questions referring to the SRC is like. So the typical day, there's not really a typical day. We work in a very dynamic and constantly changing environment at the rec center. Things that you can expect to do during the typical shift would be sell memberships, rent out equipment. Um, if you're working as a floor attendant, you'd be cleaning and monitoring the building. Um, but the typical shift, there could be one shift where you have nothing that goes on, it's just a basic shift like what I just explained, or you could have something, a crazy shift where someone gets hurt, fill out accident reports, and things along those lines where there's more pressure and stress because there's more high intense situations. My favorite part about the job is the people that I work with and work for me. I have 52 people and they're all great. We all seem to get along really well, and I'd consider most of us friends. The least favorite part of the job, kind of like what Julia was hitting on, was the emergency situations, but I'll give you something different. It's the like angry patrons or people who you have to that necessarily don't agree with like our policies. That's my least favorite, just because you have to take time, try to explain it in multiple different ways so they can see a different point of view, and you have to be able to work with them and try to understand where they're coming from as well. The biggest challenge, probably working with a large group of people that we work with. We have age ranges from probably 5 or 6 years old all the way up to 80 or 90-year-old people, and being able to communicate effectively to each one of those age groups so that they're able to understand what you're trying to get across is something that is a huge challenge, but I also think that's a huge benefit of the job because most people who are working as a college student won't have the opportunity to interact with that wide of a group of population. Dress code, same as what Julia described, khaki pants or shorts, rec center polo, closed-toed shoes, no hats, jackets that aren't rec center affiliated ones. Hours per week, I have some employees that work 3 hours a week, and I have some that go up to 15 hours a week, and then they pick up additional shifts and stuff like that as well. Your schedules are very flexible as we work on a software to work where you're able to pick up and drop shifts. So if you have a really busy week, you can drop your shifts if you need to. If you have a really slow week and you're looking for a lot of hours, there's also that opportunity to pick up people's shifts. Very similar to the Perry Fieldhouse, we do have a lot of opportunities for promotions. After you're an attendant, you can move up to a center manager, which is someone who oversees each shift as well as the building while they're working there. And then from there, you can also have a student supervisor promotion, which is someone who's in charge of um, more of the scheduling, the training. They're just a step up from a CM and anybody else who's, and they have more of a general overview of the staff. They're working more as a management role. Each one of those, like Julia said, comes with a pay raise, as well as additional responsibilities. Transferable skills, I'd say the most prevalent transferable skill is problem solving. There's a lot of times where you'll have to help people figure out solutions to make them happy, whether it's with a pass, so you can find what pass they're looking for, or if they're having trouble with a locker, you have to be able to figure out where to go to find the solution to fix their lockers. Like Jules said, other opportunities are conferences. I've been to three of them during my time here. I've been to ORSA, which is the Ohio Recreation Sports Association conference. Had one in Akron and one at Ohio State. That's a great opportunity to get to know some more people outside of the rec from BG. Get to hear how universities work and do their things within the recreation center. Um, I've also been to Student Lead On, which is a student developed conference, which was in Toledo this past year. That gives you, once again, another great opportunity to network with people and learn how other universities are doing things. Um, and they also give you great professional development opportunities. And like Julia said earlier, if you have any additional questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and we'll answer them.
I'll talk about my areas as well. And also in the chat, if you want to put maybe you're interested in as well, if you know what you're interested in, that would be helpful also. For me, I am over aquatics as well as youth and family. So we have a kids camp that I run. I'll mainly be talking about aquatics since the counselor position is more seasonal. But if you do have questions, just let me know. But a typical day for aquatics, we have two pools. So we have both those open. One is a leisure pool, one is a lap pool. They're open most of the day from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. It's just kind of guarding those, doing cleaning, and then helping patrons with any needs they may have. I'm going to go right to the biggest challenges part. For us, that's pretty easy to say that it's our swim meets. A lot of the weekends of the year we have swim meets going on, and not only staffing them and making sure we have enough people, but also just dealing with more situations that arise. So we have a lot of safety issues that can come up, or even just logistical issues with the amount of people we have on deck and even in our facilities. So for dress code, we have a uniform we provide. We have the guard shirt and shorts that we'll give you, and we typically just ask that you wear shoes that are appropriate or sandals or nothing, no shoes at all if you're more inclined to do that. Hours typically range from 6 to 10 a week. However, sometimes that looks like less or more. It just kind of depends on what's available in your schedule and even if you want to pick up shifts or do more of the weekend shifts. For promotions, we have our starting lifeguard position. And then after that, you can be promoted to a crew chief, which is a head lifeguard. And then after that, we also have new student supervisor positions in the aquatics and youth and family departments. One of the biggest skills I would say you'd get from these jobs, for me, customer service. I feel like when you are interacting with that many people a day, and especially when some of them are more angry or upset about something, you definitely learn how to talk to people well and even just calm down situations. So that's something that I would say. Yeah, if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat.
Malik, do you want to talk a little bit about intramural sports?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Typical day for intramurals is it's pretty busy depending on what sport you have. You have different sports ranging from basketball, football, all the way to cornhole. So depending on what sport you're playing, it can be very calm. A lot of people can be there. They're always going to be working with someone else, either a manager or multiple officials, so you don't have to worry about anything being or anything like that. The biggest challenge I would say is just keeping the games in control and making sure everything's working and everything's going well. Things can get rowdy and things can get out of control. You just want to make sure you have the best control you have so everything can go well. The dress code is the same every other department, red, white, and wellness. The IM polo or dry fit shirt, the khaki shorts or pants. Hours per week. Typically, a manager working about 15 hours a week, depending on their schedule, they can work. It's more options to pick up shifts as well, and you can busy week also put it on a trade board so someone has to take it. There are opportunities for promotions. If you're official, you can get promoted to a manager. If you're a manager, you can become a supervisor, which comes with more responsibility. As Julia said, transferable skills, good communication skills, managing skills, and organization skills that come with that. Other opportunities that they spoke on, like NERSA and ORSA, different conferences. If you have any other questions, you can put them in the chat.
Okay, so if you're still interested in any positions within Recwell, you might be wondering what your next steps are. So specifically for the SRC and the Perry Fieldhouse applications, we are asking that those be turned in by 11:59 p.m. on April 24th. You can find those applications on Handshake, or you can go to the Department of Recreation and Wellness's Student Employment page, and you can find the applications on there as well. When you submit an application for either the Perry Fieldhouse or the Student Recreation Center, you are going to be applying for both positions, and then if you are awarded an interview, your interviewers will decide kind of what building we think you'll fit best in, and we'll decide whether you'll be working at the SRC or the PFH. For aquatics and the Wellness Connection and fitness and intramurals and the climbing wall, those are all open applications. So there's no hard deadline on those. They accept applications year round, and Chris or Malik can give you any more information on those applications. And then lastly, we just have the contact information of everyone that you might want to reach out to in the department that you're interested in. So if you're interested in the SRC or the PFH, Brody and I can help you. We also have the contacts for fitness, Malik for intramurals, our marketing director, Lana, and Chris here for aquatics. So now we will just go ahead and offer a little bit of time for anybody that may want to ask any additional questions. You can either unmute your microphone and ask us questions, or you can drop them in the chat and we can get to them. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Rocky asked a very good question. She's interested in, excuse me, a Perry Fieldhouse attendant position. If she does get the position, how long does she have to complete the CPR, AED, and first aid certification before starting? So, Rocky, for the Perry Fieldhouse specifically, and I believe it's the same for the rec center, we just require that our employees have the first aid, CPR, and AED certification within 30 days of hire. So you don't necessarily need to have it before your interview or before you even start the job. We can work with you to get that certification and give you more information on different avenues you can take, such as taking a class at the rec center or taking a class through the Red Cross.
I will say if you do take it through the rec center after you're hired, you'll get a discounted rate. So if you're hired and you're looking for a class, you'll probably get a better rate with us than anywhere else. So